Should I buy Ethereum now or wait? In this video, I want to talk about the 7 reasons why you should be buying Ethereum in the next few months and so on. But please don't take this as financial advice. It's just my personal opinion and why I believe that this technology has got a lot of future. So let's jump right into the 7 different reasons why Ethereum is a good investment. We'll go over quick the highlights and the points I want to go over in this video. First of all, the technology is new. What is the adoption curve? Understanding where we are on this adoption curve. The concept of Ethereum as a world computer. Ethereum unlocks tokenization. Quickly explaining what tokenization is and what kind of benefits it has for us as individuals and for businesses. Then we've got real world examples of tokenization. Future growth of tokenized assets of the next 10 years, censorship free application running on the Ethereum blockchain. I think that's also very powerful, and how to make money with cryptocurrency by staking Ethereum. So we've got a bunch of things, a bunch of topics I want to go over in this video. All the timestamps will be linked down below in the description, so I don't want to waste your time. You can jump ahead and go to those juicy parts that you want to watch. So have you heard the term early adopter? An early adopter is someone who starts exploring and learning about a new technology, and that is not ready for mass adoption yet. It is possible that this technology has a lot of flaws, and these flaws need to be ironed out. An early adopter is often rewarded for his patience by gaining knowledge early and by financial gain. So if you go back in time, there's many people wishing they would have maybe bought Amazon or Apple stocks. And if we go back to the adoption curve, it's quite interesting. You've got here the innovators, the early adopters, the early majority and late majority, and the laggards. So since there are still not that many people invested in this technology, there's still not many people that know about it. I mean, yeah, maybe you and me, we believe that many people know about it because we're talking about it constantly, but I think there's maybe 0.03% that actually hold any cryptocurrency if you look at the whole world population. So I remember how painful it was to connect to the internet with this the sound connecting to the internet, and I think the same pain these us early adopters are having when you're talking about public keys, private keys, installing a wallet, and so this technology is here to stay and evolve over the next 10 years, over the next 20 years, and I think that's very revolutionary. The concept of Ethereum as a world computer. So this might seem a bit far-fetched, like out of a space movie of the 80s, but bear with me, this is actually something that's happening right in front of your eyes. Well, you can't really see it, but Ethereum is super new. It's like 2 years old, 3 years actually, and it came out in 2016, and we had to earn a few bucks. You had the DAO hack and so on, but instead of having internet applications running on just like your own computer, you have to imagine these applications running on a bunch of computers, which is on the Ethereum blockchain, and you can compare those to applications running on your computer. And you might not realize the potential of having applications that can run on a decentralized system. I think this is fantastic. You can have, all right, maybe if we take online gambling sites, it's not the best example because they're a bit frowned upon, but online gambling sites, if you know that the odds are real and it's not just a scam website and so on, I think people like to have websites that they can trust. Ethereum unlocks tokenization. So we quickly looked at tokenization ideas before in the previous part, and I quickly explain what tokenization is if you're not sure what it is, because just hearing about it, it doesn't really explain a lot about what it is and how it works. Tokenization is a very highly effective way of saving private data without giving all this data to other people, but other people can know that this data belongs to you without knowing the important information. So as an example, if I want to tokenize my car, I can put all the information about the car, when it was serviced, the VIN number, when it was bought, everything, all the information a buyer would want to know about this car can be stored about the car, and also my personal information can be stored in the car. But I just want to say that this car belongs to me without giving all this information to other people. So that's how tokenization can also help keep all this information secure and private because I can choose who I share this information with. We've got tokenization of important documents such as birth of health certificates, degrees, reference letters, contracts, and so on. And yeah, there are already different companies that are using tokenization for degrees. Actually, in Basel, Switzerland, there's the University of Basel that is, and they've already tokenized a few degrees and saved them on the blockchain, which allows companies to verify the information a lot easier, and it saves the companies a lot of money. Then you've also got the tokenization of mortgages. This will allow people to invest in real estate. Until now, you've needed a lot of money to enter into real estate, depending on where you live. Buying an apartment or a house is super expensive, especially if it's in a good location. But with the tokenization of mortgages, you can break up these mortgages into 1,000, 10,000 different small manageable pieces. And yeah, selling your part of the mortgage is going to be very easy. You could just be sending that token and you change the ownership of the token. I think this is very, very good because it allows people to diversify their fiat holdings, having something else without having the massive chunk of change that would normally be required with real estate investing. Then you can also have a tokenization of artworks. It's the same area. So if you want to own a piece of an artwork, you can split it up. And yeah, virtual marketplaces for games such as Counter-Strike, for Fortnite, for PUBG Mobile. I'm not sure if the PUBG computer one has a virtual store, but with all these different virtual stores, game companies can actually provide weapon skins and customization options to players, and the players can actually have these as their own items which could be traded in this marketplace. But these items, they lose value if there's too many of these items, and by being able to track them, having these items being unique also increases the value. Yeah, people cherish their skins, cherish the items that they can buy to customize their characters. Since they're spending so many hours in that game, I think it's only fair to have these items actually have a value that can be traded. It's important to be open-minded about the different types of economy that exist. Especially if you don't do that, then you'll be left behind, and many companies are not realizing. They think that different technologies are not worth it. They're just games, and yeah, and that's a topic for another day. Let's continue. So you've also got then peer-to-peer transactions, currency transactions over the internet nearly instantaneously. You can also use the Ethereum blockchain for voting, as it's immutable. You cannot change what is stored on the blockchain. And yeah, voting is a big problem depending on which country you're from. There are there's a lot of fraud in elections. You look at the US elections, the Russian election trades. Actually, nearly all the elections are tampered with, and I think if you can implement a good way of electronic voting over a blockchain, and especially if you can find a way to hide to know that the voting mechanism is real and what people are voting for is good, but to keep a certain form of privacy, because that's too important. And yeah, when thinking about if Ethereum will have a future in the way information is stored, tokenization has always been a good argument for me, and I think this is very important. And when people ask me if I should invest in Ethereum, I like to talk about the possibilities of Ethereum and the idea of programmable money as the concept behind this new transfer of value, because you're transferring value. It doesn't really matter how you look at it, you're always transferring value, and I think it's a very important aspect, and it goes far beyond just the idea of cryptocurrency. So, but when people start understanding the big picture behind Ethereum, they also realize the potential it will have in the next 5 years, 10 years, and so on. And I think people have not really realized that until now. It's starting, but still got a long way. And if we look at the future growth of tokenized assets, for an in-depth understanding what kind of assets they use for the estimation, and with their method they project a tokenization of around 24 trillion of financial assets in 2027. 2027, in my opinion, 2027 is only the beginning. Very difficult to look much further, but as you can see, if we've got this kind of growth, I don't think it's just going to stop. It's just going to continue. So And now we continue with censorship-free applications running on the Ethereum blockchain, where we've got the problems with Julian Assange, WikiLeaks, where that had to be put on the dark net. And because people don't like other people airing their dirty laundry, and that's why I think censorship-free applications is very important. We've got a lot of political issues around the world at the moment. We've got political issues in China with Hong Kong, but also China with Uyghur. There was one example with TikTok censoring one video of a girl where she started talking about eyelashes, but then continue talking about the problems with the concentration camps in China with the Uyghur population, and TikTok removed that video. So I think it's very important to have different applications where you can share ideas, share information, and have some free speech without the big power of companies looking at their book and realizing this video can't be here because it's bad for our press, it's bad for our revenue books. And so the importance of censorship-free applications to share information between people around the world is very important. I made a blog post and a video a while ago about a Chinese student storing information on the Ethereum blockchain. There was a scandal in a Chinese school and she wanted to post this information on different blogs, but these blogs got censored. She stored the story on the Ethereum blockchain and it went viral, and I think it's good because no one could remove that story from the Ethereum blockchain. I'll post a link down below or somewhere here. Last but not least on this list of reasons why it's a good idea to buy into Ethereum is making money with cryptocurrency by staking Ethereum. Now, staking is pretty good, and the reason why we need staking is because Ethereum is moving from a proof of work to a proof of stake algorithm, and that means that the validators have to check the different transactions and make sure that they're good. And this allows people who have bought at least 32 Ethereum to become a validator, and you can, by being a validator, that will cost you around $4,800 US at the moment, when with Ethereum $150 US, and by staking you can expect to earn 4 to 10%. There's a lot more to be said about staking, but I'll keep that for the next video. Thanks a lot for watching this video. If you've got any questions, don't hesitate to leave them down below in the comments. There's also a blog post I made about the whole topic about buying and investing in Ethereum. I'll link it down below, and if you've got any questions, don't hesitate to leave them down in the comments below. Thanks a lot for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.